anything, you could look at like her last sentence, Valerie, when she says once is enough. Like she's not gonna take anything else like anymore. Maybe kind of like double meanings of just that one little sentence.
Yeah. I think actually I would have had a totally different read on the story if that was the ending. If she stopped right there, I think that would have told me something different. But the leading part gives you another. It changes it.
That's exactly what I thought at the end.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
oh, when I saw that one little sentence, I was like, oh, like why is that there? And then I was like, read it, cut it out. I was like, it doesn't sound the same. It's very it's very different.
Yeah. So is that her going back to her performance? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I want Debra to be here.
She can't speak anyway.
I know she can't. That's true.
So resolution, just because I want to remind them of what a resolution should be. How does the protagonist feel as a result of her decision? I know, Megan, you said yours. What else? What else do you guys think? How did she feel?
I think she felt kind of empowered at the end. She wasn't like slinking out of the theater. She wasn't running from it because she didn't want to see it play out again in front of her. She was choosing to leave because she had faced it. She had gotten over it, and now she was done with it.
Awesome. That's well said. Yeah, I said confident resolve.
Yeah, I said it, resolving that her daughter will have a different story.
Yeah.
Nice.
I had that she feels vindicated, hopeful, strong, but perhaps a little anxious.
Good. Ooh.
That's
You get the gold star. You did the paradox thing.
Oh.
Lily always gets the gold star.
Oh, nice.
All right, good. So how about themes?
It's a long list.
Yeah, there's a lot.
She packed a lot in work.
Yeah, she did. I said anger, friendship or lack of friendship, race, and sexism.
Nice.
I said race, power, oppression, suppression, family, community, and agency.
Agency.
That's a good one. I had marriage, empowerment, and I had anger as well.
And then I added innocence.
Good. Oh, that's great.
That's really good. I had feminism, racism, class division, media and film, mothers and daughters, representation, i.e. seeing oneself in film, moving, and gentrification.
Yes, that's
Ooh.
big. That's the whole backdrop. Do you want to read yours even if they've been repeated?
Sure. I said family, escape, marriage, beginnings, confrontation, and innocence.
Ooh, that's a really good one.
I had race, class, gender, Hollywood, family, submission, and parenthood. And with themes, we really all do want to read them because if something gets repeated, that's great for the author to hear that theme came out not just to one person, but to several people. And it also helps us come up with new ones, and like you guys just did, where Josh said, "Oh, I have this theme," and Sarah's like, "Yes, I didn't write that, but that is so true for the story."
So true.
That's a great thing to add. Now on to meanings, and we haven't talked about these yet in this class. This is the hardest part of the craft sheet. The meaning statement always starts with the word sometimes. Okay, so if y'all are taking notes, just make sure to remind yourself of that. And they aren't moral imperatives, but instead they are a statement that embodies paradox. So I'm asking you to discern what kind of paradox this story embodies. So, who wants to start us off with meaning statements?
I can go.
Great.
Okay, so I've got 5. Sometimes you have to stand up for you. Sometimes the ones who are supposed to love and help us the most just don't care. Sometimes we are spiteful just to be spiteful. Sometimes we let our frustration get the best of us. And sometimes the only option we have left is to take care of ourselves.
Nice. Yes. 5 gold stars. That's exactly what we're looking for. That kind of human meaning. So it goes beyond just the story itself and it becomes part of the human experience.
I said sometimes seeing a different problem can bring enlightenment to our own. And sometimes change can bring out someone's true colors.
That's so true. So true for the story.
I said Sometimes experiences outside your life can enlighten you how you are living. Sometimes the arts can inspire you to act. Sometimes it's important to stand up for yourself. And sometimes oppression can happen in more than one aspect of your life.
I said sometimes we're forced to confront our problems when we try to run from them. And sometimes a change of scenery brings clarity. But then at the end I wrote, sometimes we're alone when we're together.
Oh, that's a great one too.
I almost had the same thing. Sometimes the people we count on let us down. Sometimes you can feel alone in your own family. Same thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes what looks like moving up can be a cage of its own.
Ooh, yeah.
Sometimes art can be a place of comfort, and sometimes it challenges our status quo. Sometimes it's hard to be female in 1964.
And an African American female at that.
Yes.
Right. I have sometimes friends reveal their true colors by not being there when we truly need them. Sometimes moving to the suburbs feels like a betrayal in terms of race and class. Sometimes moving feels like leaving. And for that line, I actually borrowed a line from Debra, which you can do too. If you find a really good meaning statement in the story, you can use it here. So I thought that was interesting. And then sometimes even when we love someone, we see them only in terms of what they can do for us. Story. So now we get to praise it. And again, what you'll see here is that the praise is really craft-based. This is where you should be using your terminology from the know and from the lecture.